it just struck an idea to me that how should I create a content that is so long? While doing research, I glanced upon a video of Sandeep Maheshwari. You all might know he's a YouTuber. What he does is he asks the audience for the questions, they create the content, he curates it, then uploads the video. And I thought maybe I can do the same. So to begin with, let me start with some presentations. So let me know when you can see my screen.
Visible, it's visible.
Okay. Right. So you all must have seen this show, KBC. And do you recall the winners of that show who managed to win 1 crore or beyond that? Anyone that comes to your mind?
There was one guy from Bihar, I can't recall his name. No. I remember the face, but I can't recall his name.
I think so. Okay, I think Mayank is talking Turkey. He just forget the names. Anybody? Any guesses? Anyone?
I think the first person who won a 1 crore in Kaun Banega Crorepati KBC is Harshvardhan Namaste.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that's great. And any other winner that you recall? So, anyways, I think Mayank Jain has hit the nail on its head.
Kumar, I think.
So, yeah, you're quite right. So, he actually talked about this guy, Sushil Kumar. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He won rupees 5 crores. Okay, and you would believe that okay, his life must be set afterwards. That after he has won 5 crore rupees, he would be living life king size, in a grand home, grand cars, a luxury life, never have to work again, and everything. Sadly, he now has to struggle to make ends meet. Okay, this is for somebody who won 5 crore rupees. Now here, another picture. Remember, Mohit, can you identify this person?
It's Chris Crane from the New Zealand, one of the finest all-rounder New Zealand has ever seen.
Right. So like we all see cricket, and he may not be playing for India, but even if you play for your country in New Zealand, you can expect him to be earning decently. And like he said, he is one of the finest all-rounders of the world, part of the national cricket team. He must have been earning really well. But after his career ended, there's a joke circulating, that, which is actually his life's harsh reality, that he has to clean bus shelters, wait tables to make ends meet. It would have been nice if the story would have been reversed, that he had been doing that, like you see for Mohammad Siraj. These days that, they had really humble beginnings, but now they're doing well. The reverse is very painful and it hurts. Like, being at the pinnacle of your career and then going down all the way, struggling to make your ends meet. It's quite disastrous.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll just show you another picture here. Now this guy, I don't expect you to know his name, but can you guess what this guy used to do?
I'm sorry to interrupt in between, but I'm not able to see whatever you are sharing. Is everyone able to see?
I am able to.
Yes, we are.
Can we do?
Okay. Yeah. Might be some issue from my side. Yeah, continue.
Okay. So, any guesses? This guy.
Hedge fund manager, maybe.
Not and then who became rich later on.
Yeah, right. Okay, he's guessed right that he was a parking lot attendant who became quite rich later on. So, as a parking lot attendant in US, he earned only about $12 an hour. $12 an hour, while if you convert it into rupees, it might seem a lot. But in US and Canada, this is minimum wage. The minimum that you require to survive in that country. If you convert it to Indian rupees, means it would be like the government has said that 100 rupees a day, that is your poverty line. So anybody who earns more than that will be considered not poor. So that would be, if you're earning around 3,000 rupees a month, just 3,000 rupees a month, with that amount of money, he has managed to build a wealth worth crores in Indian rupees terms. Okay. And that's really fantastic. And this is not a story like Gully Boy that okay, he won a contest and his life changed overnight. It's not that he changed careers. Throughout his life, he remained a parking lot attendant. There was no significant salary hike that he got. And despite that, he has been able to build substantial wealth and can retire peacefully. Okay, I'll just close the presentation now. So what do you think that you get from all these images that are shown? Anything that the audience, any ideas that they have to add?
Adil, I feel that when we talk about money and the capital, then compounding plays a great role. And we say that compounding is the eighth wonder of the world, and I truly believe in this. So I feel there must be something related to compounding in your speech. Looking forward to it.
Great, Toastmaster Mamta. And anything else you would like to add here?
I think it is a discipline that makes you from rich to poor or poor to rich. It is a discipline in your personal life.
I think quite right. I think both Toastmaster Mamta and both Toastmaster Naveen, they put up some pertinent points. You saw that somebody who earned 5 crore rupees, but they did not have that financial knowledge or discipline, and they lost their wealth. You could be earning a lot, but it won't take you long to become poor again if you don't develop the financial knowledge or have that financial discipline. And you could start from scratch. Maybe do nothing like in terms of your career, but you can still build substantial wealth if you follow a disciplined approach to investments. And because of that, I felt let's talk about personal finance. So what do you think we should start with if we are going to do personal finance? What is the first step that one must do? Any guess from the audience?
Save before spending.
Okay, that's correct. Any more points that you'd like to add? The first step before investing, like what should one do?
Look at the ROI.
Okay. Okay, that is with respect to making an investment. But before even you start your investment journey, do you think there is something that we must do? Like to just point you in the direction, give you a fact, okay? Cristiano Ronaldo, he has insured his legs for euro 130 million. Why did he do that? Like insuring your body parts. Like what's the logic behind it?
Adil, I just want to add one thing. I think a person has to take the risk. He has to able to take risk if he want to achieve anything in his life, whether he want to invest his money in share market, whether he want to achieve his dream. So that person has to be ready for take the risk.
Okay.
Adding point to Savita's point, yeah, go on.
You can.
Okay. Adding point to Savita's point, I feel that we should also try to mitigate the risk. We should have all those insurance, like health insurance, term insurance, whatever you say, so that whatever your hard-earned money is, whatever you have, accumulated your capital, you should not just waste it for, any uncertain or, uncertain moments in your life. So I think you should also insure yourself. You should mitigate all the risks which you can encounter in your life.
Okay. And yes, Suman.
I want-
Yep.
I want to add here that before investing anywhere, we must have to invest on ourselves. We must educate ourselves. We must go to seminars and learn about the field where we want to go. So I think investing on oneself is always give compound interest. So first we have to go for that.
I think great points from Savita, Mamta, and Suman. That one must be willing to take risk if at all one wants to grow in life. Mamta pointed out that you should have risk mitigation strategies in terms of insurance like health insurance, life insurance, and what Suman said that your best investment, and it is a fact that everybody agrees that even the greatest investors agree that your best investment is actually in learning. No other investment avenue gives you that high returns. Okay? Like if you invest in a course, you can simply double your salary. Like if you invest in a good course, right? Okay, so moving on. So the first point, I think as Mamta said, that you must first try to mitigate the risks that are there in our life. And for that, let's start with health insurance. Okay, the reason I gave the Cristiano Ronaldo's example is that if he loses his legs, that's it. His career as a footballer is over. He may be the richest footballer in the world, but everything comes to a standstill if he loses his legs. And most of us have desk jobs, so it would be reasonable to assume that we should have, like if something happens to our hands or some unforeseen thing happens to our legs, even that would be a hindrance to us in our ability to earn money. So we must first of all start with health insurance. And health expenses, they are always rising, and you can go to any government hospital. If you go there, you'll never want to fall sick again. Like I went there once and I just realized, no, I don't want to be sick again, because government hospital is what I can afford, and I don't think I want to go there. Private hospitals, they look like Hilton, but they require a pile of cash that is as tall as Burj Khalifa. Only then you can get a decent treatment. And to mitigate that risk, the only way is to get a health insurance. Now you may ask, okay, how much should my health insurance be? Most of us, as we are working, we have health insurance from a company, and it is for about 3 lakhs. So as per experts, you should have at least health insurance of 5 lakhs, and it should be a family floater, in the sense that each member of your family can actually use the benefit of that policy. You can also top it up later to have, like, these days you can also get for 1 crore, which is a way of a top up. Like one policy covers up to 5 lakhs and the other policy will cover beyond 5 lakhs, and you get it for really cheap sum. Like for 2,500 rupees per annum, you can cover yourself for that balance of, if at all your medical expenses go beyond 5 lakhs. So, but as a starting point, you should have a good health insurance of 5 lakhs. Okay. Right. Moving on, now you have got your first thing that you will do in your journey for personal finance is get a health insurance. Now let's come to the other part. Okay. Again, what Toastmaster Mamta said. The other risk is of your, you dying too young. Now, while your death can be very disastrous for your family, but it can be even worse if you leave some financial liabilities. Like if you have taken a home loan, and while they are coping with the loss of you having left this earthly world, then they also have to pay for that home loan, or you may have taken some loans, some personal loans, and they are in deep financial trouble. Like, how will they survive for 10-20 years? Like, expenses only go up, education, health, and everything. So for that, like, there is this LIC ad, you might remember, right? Zindagi ke saath bhi, zindagi ke baad bhi. Like, with you along your lifetime, and even after your life, beyond your lifetime. So your life insurance is the second step that you must take. Term life insurance is what you should go for. If you go to any insurance agent, they would usually give you a savings plan, which would say, okay, you invest in this, you will get your money back, but this coverage is only 5 lakhs. The coverage is only 1 lakh. No, don't fall for that. Keep insurance and investment separate. Each should perform different role. So you must get a term insurance, and at an age that is below 30, you can get it for around 7,000 to 8,000 rupees per annum. Okay. Right. So now that we have got till the two bases covered, health insurance and life insurance, now let's come to the third point, which Mahesh Jain had said, which is about creating savings. Okay? Like you need to have a contingency fund. You know, most of us are working private jobs. Okay, now what happens because of this private job is that we don't have job security. You know, anytime it can happen that for n number of reasons we may lose our job. So to protect ourselves from that downside, we have to have a cushion of at least 3 to 6 months of salary as a cushion. And you should not do your investment till the time you have not developed that 3 to 6 months of savings account. Okay. Right. And why do you think you need a cushion? Because just to give you an example, like when you were young, you used to play, and when you fell down on a sand, you know, you got bruised, but you could get up quickly and start playing again. But you would remember if you were playing on a road or concrete, like when you fell down, you had a deep gash, you had to visit the doctor, get some stitches and all those things. So just that is what a cushion, the contingency fund does. Right. Now we just come to the third part, which is the thing that made Earl Crawley from a parking lot attendant into a half a millionaire, and that would be investments. All right. So, any examples that the audience can give about the steps that they can take, the assets in which that they can invest? Any options that the audience can suggest? Yes, ma'am.
Adil, I feel we should invest in equity mutual funds, and we should also plan for our retirement through NPS or PPS, but I would say that NPS is a much better option for that. But we should definitely invest in mutual funds, and if you are at young age, like say for 25 to 35 or 40, you can invest more on equity funds because they give a long-term good return. That I believe.
Okay, great. I think, Toastmaster Mumta seems to be well versed in personal finance. I think he's put great points ahead. So, quite rightly said. So, the first thing before doing investment, like she talked about a scenario of planning for your retirement. So, that is one of the goals that you would have, and it may not always be your goal. So, you must always first identify your goal. Am I planning for retirement? Then we would do what Toastmaster Mamta said. If we are planning for, say, a vacation that you are planning to go in 2 years, then probably investing in stock market may not be a good option. And so depending on your goal, the time horizon, and the risk appetite, you could be Bear Grylls at heart, willing to wrestle with tigers and crocodiles. But if your bank statement says that you cannot take risks, you should not be taking risks. You should have both the willingness and the ability to take risks. And also there could be that you have those special constraints. Okay, I don't smoke, so I'll not invest in tobacco companies. So okay, I'll not invest in ITC. I'm environmentalist, so I'll not invest in mining companies like Vedanta. So all those 4 things, which is you need to have a defined goal, time horizon. Then the third part would be your risk appetite, both willingness and ability. And the fourth one, your special constraints. So for the sake of simplicity, let's start with retirement plan. Okay. Now, we talked about assets, right? So assets, in a very simple term, means anything that puts money into your pocket or appreciates in value. Okay. So anything that you can suggest as assets would be like wine, okay, painting. Rich people actually invest in painting because it is unique and it will always appreciate in value. Right? Stocks, bonds, they can be the medium to put as a store of value and a way to appreciate your wealth. Okay. Now, a good rule of thumb for retirement planning is that your age should be the percent that you should allocate in bonds, and 100 minus that should be invested in equity. So, like my age is currently 27, so I'll put 27% in bonds and 73% in equity. Okay. And one must focus on building a portfolio, a team, rather than individual performance. Right? Like we saw in the test series. Right? You may have the world's number one bowler, the number one batsman, but you can still lose. But if you have a team, you know, a great portfolio, you can still get substantial wealth. And right. So how do you decide? Okay, what should be there in equity or bonds? You know, I don't have that financial knowledge. You can look that up in websites like Value Research, magazines. They also publish a magazine, moneycontrol.com. A simplest answer would be to invest in index funds, because in the index funds invest in the economy of a country. Sensex 5 years ago was at 24,000. Now it has crossed 50,000. Right? As long as you believe India is going to grow, you know, India is here to stay. You know, if you invest in index funds, you will get substantial return in equities. For bonds, where I have invested is in public provident funds, because I don't know much about bonds as well. So I guess so. This is what we have covered, our strategy for personal finance. First, get your health insurance, get your life insurance, create an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of salary. Finally, for your retirement, depending on the criteria that I gave to you, of subtracting your age from 100, that would be your equity allocation, and your age will be your bond allocation. You can create a portfolio for investment so that you can retire like Earl Crawley with significant amount and enjoy your life after retirement. Okay. Hope this was useful to you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for